Welcome, dreamers. Welcome to episode 16 of Severino Snakes. We have 3 episodes left, and we're almost done. It's very emotional, it's very therapeutic for me, and it's crazy. And today I'm rocking my lucky curl because it's election day, and I'm stressed as heck. It's hard for me to focus, and I was like, you know what's gonna make me happy is to film another episode and get it out. Because I want to be done with this series. I want to start doing videos that I'm going to, not that I don't enjoy doing these, I really do, but I'm over it. I don't want to talk to the family. I don't want to hear from family. I don't want to see them or interact with them. And I just want to really kickstart my new life. So I'm really trying to get this over with. So let's get into the rest of the tea because it's good. Today we are going to talk about some stories and read some text messages. That is right. There was a day my mother walked out, and I saw her phone sitting next to me, and I obviously know her password, and I took her phone, took screenshots with my phone, and I kept them, which is very sneaky and bad, but I'm gonna tell my story. I need this story to be heard, and it's gonna be good. So we're gonna go straight into those photos. We're gonna talk about the stories. We're really gonna see what people say about me. I did search my name, and I searched different keywords, and I was, smart enough to do that. So we're gonna go into something I've never done before, which is a voiceover. So you're not gonna see my face. You're just gonna hear my voice, and it's gonna be really weird. I need to tell this story really fast because the majority of the stuff has to do with it. We're gonna do this really fast, and it's about my parents and my aunt stealing a child. Here's the quick rundown. I'm doing this fast because I'm so sick and tired of talking. I kind of did the rest of this video before I did this one, and now I'm emotional, and you'll see why at the end. So here's the story. My cousin Kaitlyn was having a child. She wanted to give it up for adoption. My Aunt April, who I already told you was the black sheep and nobody likes her, and my cousin Kaitlyn, who's also a black sheep, I love her, talked together. She was going to give her the child. That did not happen. That's none of my business to tell. Here's the everything in between is what matters, which is what you're about to hear about the texting and the gossiping and the lying and the rumors and the back and forth. My Aunt Karen had Kaitlyn. I mean, she adopted her, but she's her daughter. If my aunt were to take that, she would be the aunt, not the grandmother. If my cousin Kaitlyn, which she ended up keeping the baby for a different reason, she would have become the grandmother and stayed the grandmother. Now, she's still the grandmother now. But that's, again, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not in that world anymore. It's none of my business. So my parents, my mother specifically, I should say, not my dad, and my aunt called people up to try and convince Kaitlyn not to give the baby to Aunt April. They tried to convince other people to take that baby away from my Aunt April, which is a form of stealing. It does not have to be physical. Yeah, that's basically the story. There's so much more, it's so in depth, but you're about to hear a lot of it from what I said, and this video is already super long, but please watch every moment of it. If you don't watch this, skip to the part where you see me in this shirt again at the very end, because that's what matters to me the most. So if you skip this part, that's fine, but please skip to the end, and know that I love y'all, and let's go. I love y'all. All right, so we're going to start with different ones. And we're going to read them all. So this has everything to do a lot with the baby stealing story that I just told. So hold on to your hats because it's crazy. But this one first is by my sister. Between my sister and my mother. Remember, this is all my mother's phone. So every message in blue is hers, and then every message in gray is obviously the one receiving the message, which all of you guys should know at this point, because technology. So my sister says, yeah, I've always had a bad feeling about Will, and now I have validation. I will not have a relationship with them. I hope they get help. My mom says, me too. I sure hope they do get help, and I do feel bad for the kids. And then my sister goes on to say, I feel bad too for the kids. And then my mom says this. Once Matthew is gone, I will get the peace I need and want. I still love him, but I need to not be the bad guy in Matthew's scenario. Let me just state that my parents' relationship is really shoddy, and I probably will not message my mother for a very, 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 very long time, especially because this message hurt so much. She wanted her peace of mind, and guess what? I'm getting mine as well. I don't want to go and read every message, but we're just gonna kind of read them and skim through it and hopefully do this as quickly as possible because I don't want to do this anymore. This is a conversation between my Aunt Tanya and my mother. Here we go. My mother says, hi, I just got a text from April and it was not nice. I'm glad someone called her out. My Aunt Tanya said, what did it say? Are you sure Tim didn't say anything or was it about my text to Kaitlyn? My mother goes on to say, I don't know who told her. Maybe Tim overheard, but that's okay. I read it and deleted it, but something I can't believe I told my sisters and something about believing her ex. When it's something mean, I just delete it. I told Karen, who's working, that my relationship with April was not existent before and that won't change. And then my aunt goes on to say she is to know we would find out. Maybe Kelly mentioned, and with everything she has done, she isn't very trustworthy, and you told her at Disney Springs that we were just turning a page with her. She is not the victim in this. Consequences. My mom then goes on to say, we told nothing to Matthew because he puts her high on a pedestal. Mike says Matthew thinks of her as Saint April, so tonight Matthew overheard me about April's text, and I want around that one. Sorry, with what we wanted Kaitlyn to keep the baby, but we are now okay with April and Will. I was not going to get into the story with Matthew. Matt goes on to say well, you might want to be honest with him because she will spin it to him. And then my mom goes, oh, that's correct. April is a person that never takes accountability. Now she would have to figure this out because I still don't believe she should adopt this baby, and we will see what happens. Daniel could be the one to put a stop to it. Matthew wouldn't believe it if I told him. Just like Daniel said, Kaitlyn wouldn't. I'm looking forward to July 12th. That's the day he starts driving to Denver. And right now, Tanya, even though we had a good day, I will be happy when he goes. I get some peace. Then my aunt says, yes, some kids have to leave the nest to understand and appreciate their parents and those around them. Let me just say this before we continue. Your validation does not belong to your parents. You do not owe your parents your life. They birthed you. And if they screw you over and destroy your life and make your life a living hell, you owe them absolutely nothing. You owe them nothing. Let's continue. My Aunt Tanya says, my mother says, so we won't be able to meet up with you on the 13th because we will be in Denver and won't be back until the 18th or 19th. He was originally leaving August 3rd, but he can't wait to move out. And that is the end of that conversation. So there's going to be 2 more conversations between my mother and Aunt Tanya. My Aunt Tanya says, is Karen doing okay? They were just talking about meeting at the beach. I'm just going to kind of skip down. Right now, Mike will get in touch with Kelly this weekend, which is my cousin, so that she can talk with Kaitlyn before she moves here. Is it true that if you're pregnant, you have to self-quarantine? Which, let's just not be ignorant and state that, yes, even if you're not pregnant, you should be self-quarantining. If you are pregnant, you're at high risk. You should be inside. Then my aunt says, okay, we can talk at the beach. I'm good to go Tuesday. Have you heard from Tim? I'm kind of hoping he doesn't show. He was really out of it the last couple times I've seen him, and definitely don't talk about April in front of him. They talk now. So let's just pit sides. Let's make sure everyone's, not saying anything around other people. Let's make sure that we don't invite people because it might get messy. We don't want to be fully responsible adults and talk this out like people. That is what she's saying. What would come back in you? April told us at lunch. Let's move down. Not sure about the self-quarantine, but I'm sure she will not talk about it with anyone until the adoption. I told you. I'm sure April called her right after Disney Springs and told Kaitlyn to ignore us until she got back to town. And then my mom says, Karen really wants Kaitlyn to keep the baby. But I'm wondering if Kaitlyn is doing this out of spite or is the guy not wanting it and she does. What is her reasoning? And it shouldn't be about money. Have you seen her drawing? She could be selling on Etsy. She did these for her sister's birthday. So there's a little tidbit with that one. Here's one more for you. I'm having so many issues with my mind about all of this. Faith told me yesterday that April FaceTimed Kelly and Kaitlyn on Instagram and said, "Hello, my sweet nieces." Is she just in denial or what? What Aunt April says to my nieces, well, my cousins, and to her nieces is none of your business, first of all. Second of all, since when is it crime to continue speaking with your nieces and be very appropriate and very, very sweet to them? She said, "Hello, my sweet nieces." Why is that any of an issue to you? Is she in denial about what? Ridiculous. Mom Aunt Tanya says, "Sorry, I was at a funeral. April lives in a fairy tale life. It took me a long time to realize that. I will never understand what she's thinking because I would never do what she does. She hides from reality and only looks after herself. I do pray for those around her that their eyes and ears are open. My eyes and ears have opened for a long time, so I know what to expect from her and I won't get sucked back into her drama. And I do feel for her kids. And poor Daniel, the man who abused her, he had no idea." As if. Read this one pretty fast. This conversation is between my Aunt Tanya and my cousin Kaitlyn, who was having the child. This message was sent to me. It was a shock to me, and I'm just going to read it. "Hi, Kaitlyn. I'm so sorry I haven't reached out to you before this. I miss you and love you and want you to know I am here for you. I want you to know that Ketty told us you were pregnant. I was told you didn't want people to know, so I didn't reach out. When she told me, I was so excited for you. So many things rushed through my head, like how I know you will be an amazing mom. I was excited you will have the opportunity to raise your own child, to love it and care for it when they get hurt, to teach them how to love one another, and you would have your own first dance at his wedding. So many more things rushed through my head when she told me, you, Kaitlyn, have so much to offer to your child. He will be extremely lucky to have you as a mom, and yay, it's a boy. Congratulations. April told us she also told us she wouldn't have adopted a girl. I have to say boys make the best cuddlers. Then I heard you were thinking of giving the child up. Everyone thought abortion. I would never think that's what you were thinking. I thought, well, she's going to give the child up for adoption. I thought, well, she must be scared, but we would be there for her, and I will always be there for you. And then I was told today by April, you asked her and Will to adopt the child. I want you to know I support you no matter what. I also want you to really think about what you are doing. Are you okay if she moves to New York? Are you okay to be around all of the family for Christmas and a Thanksgiving knowing we know this? You might choose to never be around because it's too hard to see your child, and I wouldn't want to lose you because of this decision. April told us you were interviewing 4 other couples, which I think is a great thing. I know 2 young couples from a Tomoka Christian church that are waiting for a child to adopt. They have none. Sad face. April is an awesome mom, which is the only compliment Aunt Tanya would ever give my Aunt April. She's great and is raising 4 awesome kids, but Kaitlyn, why are you selling yourself short that you can't do that? If it's money, Aaron and I want you to know we will help you every step of the way. Okay, bribery for a child. Bribery for a child's life. You cannot be serious. If it's money, Aaron and I want you to know we will help you every step of the way. We have plenty of room for you to live here to get on track. You and the dad are both welcome, or just you. I get that dad doesn't want to have kids, but do you really want to give him control over the biggest decision of your life? You are magnificent and beautiful and kind and loving. That's really funny coming from someone who's trying to influence the biggest decision, quote unquote, of her life. You're magnificent and beautiful and kind and loving. You have the biggest heart, and I have been dealt a lot of crap. I also know Grandma gave her first 2 kids up for adoption because of her first husband. She regretted that decision every time I talked with her. It was her biggest regret. I know you were not her. I know April will make an amazing mom. She already is. But don't you want that opportunity? Grandma had 6 kids after her first 2 and still would have loved to have all 8 kids together. And what if this is your only chance to get pregnant? Yes, April will make everything sound wonderful. You will be the godmother. You will be there for holidays if April is here for them. But she is a lawyer and you give up any rights. There will be boundaries. I just want you to have your rights known as well. April said her and Will would not adopt if it wasn't your child. That's a lot of pressure. Apparently it's difficult to adopt over 50. I get wanting Will to be a dad, and it sounds like an awesome thing you were doing. But I want you to really think about not being involved in your child's life because your boyfriend doesn't want it, or you're not financially ready, or feeling pressure from family, which is weird because she's pressuring her and she's family. These things are easy fixed without giving up your ability to be the best mom to this baby. Gigi is in contact with her birth mom through pics, but does she want her birth mom involved in her life? Two different things. Teresa and Jack refused to see grandma because she gave them up. What if your child feels the same? I'm sure you have thought about all this, or maybe you haven't. I have my differences with April. I have my wall up with her because this is what she does. She makes things sound wonderful, and then you're the one getting hurt, not her. With grandma's death, I'm trying to turn a page with her, and then this happens. I pray she has begged you to keep your baby and offered to help with no strings attached. I pray she will be okay with changing your mind. But I really pray April pushes you to include your mom. All things she told us today, she has said to you. Your mom loves you with all her heart. I know you don't like her, but she really does love you. She talks about you and Ketty and James all the time. She wishes James was out of jail and everyone lived closer. The one good thing I have learned, besides you being pregnant, has been the fact that both you and Ketty are moving closer. She would love to get to know the beautiful adults you have become. Karen never knew how to be a mom. When she first adopted you three, your mom and dad were in a great relationship. They were who I looked up to, but I think Karen gave up a lot of herself for your dad and didn't know how to handle it, let alone be a mom. I think the divorce has been wonderful for her, and this job at Lowe's has given her a sense of purpose. I know she would change so many things from the past, but she also trusts God that every decision she has made was a plan with his very moment. We love you, Kaitlyn. We can't wait to see you get through this. We can't wait to see you and give you a great big hug. We are here for you. We will always be here for you, but you have to want us in your life. You have not always wanted our family in your life. I get it. I'm sad you had a shower and we couldn't show our support, but you need to know we are here. We have never left. Don't kid yourself. Everything in this message is the fakest thing I've ever heard in my life. Don't let family toy with you. Don't let somebody's long message try to pressure you into doing something. Family might be one of the worst or best things about your life. There's so many people out there. That's why I'm putting this out there, is that family to me has been the worst part of my life. And I need people to realize that, and I want people to openly be okay with that and understand that you get to pick your own family from the day you leave the house. And I do recommend, if it's unsafe for you in your household, move out as soon as you can. If you have someone you trust, an aunt, a friend, an uncle, like one person out of your family, do it. It's so worth it. Here's them talking after that conversation, because my Aunt Tanya sent it to my mother. My mom said, "Man, you're a great writer. That was wonderful what you wrote. Couple things. Robin tapped me on the shoulder yesterday while Mike and I were walking out and said, April can sure sell ice to an igloo, which is so true. Not sure I get the line right, but you get the picture. She said, LOL. She said that to me too. Ice to an Eskimo. Then she said, haha. So let's just joke about our sisters behind each other's back. Why don't we? And then we'll just skip to the next part. So I believe Mike said if it's an open adoption, Karen is the grandmother, period. If it's closed, I don't believe she has any rights except for the fact that Karen should be the grandmother no matter what. My Aunt Tanya said, yes, I agree. My mother said, I could not believe she caught me off guard, but not until we got out of the bathroom and told her it felt like she was hiding all this. April mentioned that, well, at least the baby would still be in Karen's life, but that's when I mentioned, well, if Kaitlyn decided to give it away to someone else, it wouldn't be thrown back in Karen's face. It would be a clean break, but poor Karen has to deal with it. And also told her in so many words about relationships and how things were starting, and then this was pulled. Then my aunt said, yes, she was hiding it because she wants the baby, but I was shocked that she could go see Kaitlyn. You try to convince her. That's why I put that in my note. I really hope April's been trying to convince her to keep the baby and handle it on her own, and that she would help without any strings attached. That's why you saw me that way, because I felt like Kaitlyn and Teresa were putting April on a pedestal. Good, I'm glad you said that, because I honestly don't know how to move forward with that when that person is hiding something. And then April said she was feeling judged. I said you have to get over that, and that's when she said I'm going to need a drink. I wanted to tell, well, if she fits, but I didn't. When I got home, I just really felt like this is the wrong thing. She has 4 kids. She just got married, and just because he has no kids doesn't make it the best thing with her record. I get the 50 part and why April and Will. Is that because April tells her everything? It seemed like April has to meddle. I also have to say, if April keeps mentioning that the last 5 years were hard for her, I might have to say something to her that was on her. That was her decision to act the way she did to make me feel horrible. And what she did to Robin and Ed when she moved to Tennessee was horrible. And we can't just keep having someone like her in our lives if we're going to keep being made horrible. That's why I had completely stopped with her, because for me, if you're in my life and my family's life, then I don't want to end up feeling horrible. She really does handle this situation and every other situation before this differently. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's making herself feel like the victim. It's the same story over and over again, but I have to understand that's who she is, and it's not afraid to deal with that and speak my truth no matter how it makes her feel. I have to do that because my kids enjoy being with her kids. But it will be unfortunate if April does what she does and I have to end it again because I can't have that in my life. I truly believe Crystal and Valerie's relationship and Kaitlyn and Kelly's relationship with their parents were scarred when they would go to Aunt April's house, because April filled their minds, and don't you want to live with me? I am a better parent. Your parents aren't good parents. And I'm not trying to live in the past. I am moving forward, which is why this came to a shock to me, so I hope that can't happen. But I know I have a wall up because of the past. Oh, I guarantee you the moment she found out Kaitlyn was pregnant, she called her and said, we would love to take this baby. We can adopt. We're over 50, and she's pressuring her. But that is why I wrote what I wrote last night, because I want her to know what April is telling us. And maybe she's telling Kaitlyn something different. I want Kaitlyn to be aware of what April is telling us, because I would like the truth from Kaitlyn. Again, not my decision to make Kaitlyn decide on April, and Will would be the best fit. That is fine. I just need Kaitlyn to understand April's truth. It just makes me a little leery that the baby shower was going to Facebook Live and then moved to a Zoom meeting. And April cannot tell me she doesn't know how to do a Zoom call. She's been in this business for how long? When she said that I knew April hasn't changed who she is, but I'm just going to try to keep moving forward. When she said she needed help with the Zoom meeting and it was really Kaitlyn's shower, I knew April hasn't changed. Let me just really fast. It's none of your goddamn business. It's none of your business. And I'm going to say this over and over and over again. It's none of your business. Crystal and Valerie's name should stay out of your mouth. You don't talk to them. Kaitlyn and Kelly's relationship with Aunt April is none of your goddamn business. And my relationship to April is none of your goddamn business. You could put my name in your mouth. I also went to those parties at Aunt April's house with Crystal and Valerie and Savannah and Ashley and all of them. And, absolutely nothing. I wasn't brainwashed. I wasn't whatever you claim she was telling us. Like, you're a disgusting human being who needs to shut their mouth. So then my mom goes on to say, I know April is April. I said a lot of things about Matthew, but Matthew said a lot of things to April, and I wish April would have just said, God is in control and he loves you, Matthew. But Matthew will learn that he did not grow up in a non-loving home. That is incorrect. Honestly, these problems did not start until about 1.5 years ago. With Matthew, I blame social media for the most part. Yeah, you would. Let's see. He's very much into himself at this time in his life. But on the flip side, he's a hard worker, never late, never calls in sick, and getting his BA at 19 is something I'm so proud of. I pray he does well in Denver, but I don't think he realizes how much I do love him and how much I'm going to miss him. Miss me all you want, but your contradictions are what is killing me. You can't just give me a compliment sandwich and say something so nice and then say something so awful. That's not how this works. My aunt begins to say, I told Aaron that April being able to sell ice to an Eskimo could easily convince Kaitlyn to include Karen and everything, or even to keep the baby, but she only chooses to do what makes her happy. You guys, I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to stop. Up until this part, just so you guys can pause and read if you would like to. She says, Matthew's a good kid. What have I always told you? I screwed up my life when I left the house when I was 18. I made major mistakes. I got arrested and I went to a pretty dark place. But you come out of it because your family is just always there to support you. Elizabeth came out of it pretty well, and so will Matthew. And then there are kids that don't have to go through that, which is Faith or you or Karen. You guys never went through that kind of stuff, so it's hard for you to understand. First of all, never ever tell somebody how they're feeling or that they can or cannot understand something. Second of all, keep my goddamn sister's name out of your freaking mouth. Elizabeth has nothing to do with this. Stop dropping names like a dime. My mom says, I know, Mike and I both agree that was a gender reveal, not finding out how to do it. I did not catch that until you and Robin said it. That would be terrible if April tells her to block all of us. Thanks, Tanya. You are so sweet. Actually, he worked early this morning, was very nice to us, and then went to sleep. She's referring to me. And then she goes on. And then my mom talks to my Aunt Tanya about my sister for no reason. It's still none of her business. And then she begins to say, so they talk about a lunch with my Aunt Karen and my mother and my Aunt Tanya. And my Aunt Tanya says, I don't need to go to Lowe's because she doesn't want to see Aunt Karen. My Aunt Tanya doesn't want to see my Aunt Karen. Their relationship's not like that. And it's just another rude comment. Let's move on. This conversation is between my cousin Kaitlyn and my mother. She was not able to see me send myself off from Florida to Denver, but that is a-okay. She said, yeah, stinks I can't see him off, but I'm glad you are going together for the move. She said, I know. I'm sure you will see him sometime. Everyone keeps saying he will come back. Not true. I will never, ever, ever, ever move back to Florida. It won't happen. I will move to California, to Michigan, to Vermont, to Minnesota, to Texas, to Virginia. I will never move back to Florida. I didn't even know this, which is fine because I don't need to know everything. But he told me he's a trainer now at Disney, and I was like, so what? So that means he got a promotion, but he just wants to leave the company. Matthew has a great personality, and I understand he needs to go far. He wants something different. I do wish him success for wherever he goes. It's one of those compliment sandwiches again, where you just want me to come back. Not happening. I'm not going to show you this entire conversation. It's long and unnecessary. It's just more about the same story about the baby from a different perspective. But I did want to show a text message between my mother and my Aunt Karen, just to show you that I still have all of these conversations as well. But let me read this one just because I think it's interesting. So did Mike call her? My dad's name is Mike. She was still saying that several of my sisters were texting her, but she has made this decision to let April and Will adopt the baby, and I didn't tell her anything. And if Mike had already talked to her, she's not changing her mind, but I hope Mike called her or is still going to call her. This is collusion. Call it as it is. It's collusion and trying to take a child. You are convincing a human being to keep a baby, give it to somebody else. It's also, that's why the video is titled, My Family's Trying to Steal a Child. This is why. Just because you don't see a physical act of somebody trying to take a child, people calling other people to convince a woman to give her baby to somebody else, to keep the baby for herself, to call other people up, this is sick, to call other people up, to convince them to take. Just another quick message. It says, I asked him what he thought about April adopting Kaitlyn's boy. He said she already has 4, so I don't think he's on board with it. Again, none of your business. Stop asking other family members what they think of this situation when it's none of your goddamn business. She wanted to take the baby. She wanted to take it because Kaitlyn presented the baby to my Aunt April, and they mutually agreed that it'd be a great decision if they raised the child together. They raised the child together. A disgrace. My family is a disgrace. I'm over it. Can you guys tell? I'm so sick and tired of doing these videos because I'm over how repetitive my family has become and the idiocracy that comes out of my family's mouth and the gossip and rumors and the lies that spread throughout my entire family. It's sickening, and their honest truths are just rude and disrespectful. I'm going to get peace. I'm going to get peace for my son. Imagine reading that text message. Worse, imagine typing that text message and never finding out about it. And you guys thought I was done. You thought I was done. No, I have a couple more stories to tell you because I'm letting it out on this video. You wanted to know who the Severino snakes are? They're every single one of them, a snake. Except for the black sheep. I see you, John. I see you, Aunt April. I see you. I see you. I see you. I had my grandmother pass away. As most of you know, if you don't know me, then I'm telling you right now. And I wrote this post on Facebook that I'm going to read to you guys because it matters. Some of you may know and others may not. My grandmother passed away a month ago. She was the first person I officially told I was gay. Every other person who knew me before knew that I was bisexual. Anyways, not the point. My grandmother and my grandfather was my everything. I love both of them so much, from their soap operas to the pancakes to the lattes and early mornings. I was blessed with two people who genuinely had my best interests at heart, always said what I needed to hear. They were my everything. My grandpa's death was hard, and losing my grandmother wasn't easy, but amongst the other things going on in my life, it was hard to process, and it didn't happen until about 3 weeks after. So this is what I wanted to address. I found out about my grandmother dying through Facebook, even though I had seen her the day before. I had hoped she was going to live. Imagine finding out your grandmother, whom you were very close to, was dead through social media. Sit on that for a moment. Next time you want to decide, 3 hours. Let me repeat that. 3 hours of someone's dying. She's in a better place, or she's one of the angels. Just don't. Make sure other people know first of all, and second, give some time for people to grieve. Your sappy posts are fine. Your well-wishers are fine. All I'm saying is that you shouldn't be posting on social media for at least a week, if not more. It gives no beneficial gain to anyone. It just does more harm. It hurts me really bad amongst all the stuff that was happening to me that's how I found out. Just remember the times you didn't have social media. When someone died, you called everyone, or really far back wrote letters. You sent cards, flowers, spent hours and weeks on end going over and spending time with those affected, and had food brought to you so that you'd be set. Social media is a tricky tool, but in common sense, doesn't have to be. Rest in peace. Love you, Grandma, forever and always. That's right. On top of everything else that I went through, I found out that my grandmother was dead through social media. The day after I saw her. The day after. I found out she was dead through social media. Process that for a moment. You guys genuinely probably thought I was done. I'm not done. There's still more to go. I'm just going to read this, and this was given to me at the beginning of the series, and I posted a video on Facebook, like the first episode on Facebook, and then I got this message that was sent to me. My Aunt Karen: good morning, everyone. I love you all. My mother said, thank you, Karen. Then my Aunt Robin, this is the important part. So apparently our nephew, Matthew, has a YouTube called Severino Snakes. He's doing clips of all of us saying we are racist, sexual predators. Karina, I will report him, and if he mentions my family at all, I will get a lawyer for slander. He's disrespecting Daddy's last name, and I won't have it. My Aunt Tanya said that's so sad he would do something like that. My Uncle Tim, all he had to say was, does anyone respect me? No one calls me. I guess Timothy Severino is all alone. Don't text me if you can't call me. Which I completely agree with Tim. If you cannot call me, don't text me. Also, you are racist. So get out of here. The fact that my family wants to sue me is insane. It is insane. I'm just upset. I'm visually upset. Hi, you can see my face again. I'm going to do one more goddamn thing. I'm going to tell you 3 things. One is a long story. The other 2 are not. My Aunt Robin screwed me over. My cousins, Savannah and Ashley, were my favorite human beings on this planet. We spent so much time on vacations in each other's homes, playing games, calling on the phone, texting each other, making a fake band name, making a YouTube channel, and all of this stuff told big secrets. And I still have not said a single word about their secrets. I've not said anything to literally anyone in my life, anybody, because it's not my business to say, because I'm a mature effing adult and I don't have to say it. I can keep a secret. My mouth is a vault. The rest of this stuff, yeah, this is my playground. This is my business. I live in this apartment and it's mine. And for you to come and step on me for 20 years of my life, it's not okay. So I was blocked by my two cousins. I took my cousin Ketty off because political reasons, and I'm not going to deal with your All Lives Matter crap. My Aunt Robin, yeah, I took her off because she doesn't care about COVID. She doesn't care about getting sick. She doesn't care. She's also very politically to the right, and All Lives Matter and Back the Blue, and blue lives are a suit. They wear a suit. They can take it off. You cannot take your skin color off. You cannot take your sexuality off. Because just because you white people think it's a choice, it's not. Why would we choose to be suppressed and oppressed? Why would we choose that? We wouldn't. Here's my other thing. My Aunt Tanya, if you're watching this, you're a coward. You're a pathetic little coward, and you need to step up, own up. Because she put a post on Facebook that I'm tired of showing you guys stuff, so I'm not going to voice over. And I came for her neck. And I'm so glad I did. She blocked me, she blocked my sisters, she had a fight with my mother, which has never happened. I'm not going to deal with it. Go to a Trump rally. Do your thing. Don't social distance. Don't wear a mask. You had COVID. You had COVID. You irresponsible little prick. Don't come for me. Don't talk to me. Ever. I don't want to hear your face. I don't want to see your face. I don't want to hear your name. I don't want anything to do with you. Leave me the hell alone. I don't want it. This is the last thing I'm gonna say, because this video is incredibly long, it's incredibly important, it's incredibly tea-filled, and this is the episode that I've been waiting to make. Well, the next one is, but I realized I had still a lot to do, and I'm over it. I am effing over it. I shouldn't even have to do this series. Families shouldn't have to go through all of this. Stealing a child, telling your son that he is a pig and fat, needs to work out, that he can't sing, to shut up. Telling your son and saying nothing about him being gay. Talking about your son behind your back. It's despicable. It's despicable. So I'm going to read you this letter that my mother sent to me, because that's how pissed I am. And this, now that she wrote to me, is my business. To my wonderful son, first of all, I wanted to tell you how blessed I am that God gave you to us as our son. Let me just state that this was given to me about a month after I had moved. I am extremely proud of all of your accomplishments so far. Your high school graduation at 16 and your college graduation at 19 have been highlights. Plus your grades and being cum laude are amazing. I was thrilled to see that on TV. You're a hard worker, on time, and you don't call in. I'm proud of that. You're a go-getter and have lots of energy, both great things. I was thrilled when you got a position at Topgolf and then Disney and Starbucks. So far in the financial world, you have done well for yourself, and I have no doubts that you would continue that path. Why would you care about my financials? I'm your son. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. Words can be a powerful weapon. Proverbs 13:3. That's the first Bible verse. Keep note. I know I have said things that hurt you very much, and for that I am very sorry. I pray that you can forgive me. I didn't realize I, quote-unquote, harped, so you don't actually believe that you harped. You just think that you harped. Over and over about your Disney job. I guess I just thought that was what you wanted. And then, to become a trainer at your age, in my opinion, was, wow. I hope this was not a reason to move to Denver. It was. I hated that job. I just want you to be happy in whatever career path you take. As I have been watching old videos, your smile and laughter was and still is contagious, and I will miss that and more. Even as a baby, you always woke up with a smile. I'm having a blast watching them. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, 2 if you're keeping count. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. I believe for you, this is your time to be in Denver. And whether you stay in Denver or move to New York or wherever God takes you, I know and believe that you will be just fine and you will do great things. I am so excited you have your first apartment with Samantha. I no longer have that apartment with Samantha because I took my father's advice and it screwed me over. Second thing, don't come for me and say, this is your time to be in Denver and whether you stay in Denver. That right there, leave it at that. This is your time to be in Denver. I'm so happy for you. Don't go on to wherever God leads you because you want me to come back. And I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Things will fall into place. Just be patient. Psalm 121, 7-8, that's the third one, says, the Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore. God promises to always watch over you, Matthew, as you go through your life. With that promise, I know that it will be okay because he's watching over you, Matthew. This is one of my favorite verses because I know he does the same for me, your dad, your sisters, other family, and more. So my prayer to you is to be wise in every decision, be safe wherever you may be in the moment with whoever you are with, and know that we are always here for you no matter what, except you still haven't called me. All you can freaking do is pick up your phone and take a little text message. You still haven't called me. But you know what? Please don't. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear from you. Again, I'm so sorry for the words that hurt me. I'm so sorry for the words that hurt you and not listening and for hounding you about what I wanted for your career. You should be sorry for the words that you said that hurt me. This will be a fresh start for you in Denver, Matthew, and excited for this new adventure place to live with this sweet roommate. I love you more than you can know. I will miss making cinnamon rolls for you. Guess what? I do that on my own now. You making me laugh hysterically. Guess what? I make myself laugh now. Getting ready for work. Guess what? I kill at my job now. Texting me what's for dinner. Guess what? I make myself dinner. Helping with the cleaning. I do all of the cleaning. Vacations, even though you might want to come with us. I don't. Don't invite me. I can make my own money and go on my own vacations. Just you being around and more. I cherish the moments, both past, present, and future. I know we will visit, and I do say and believe the best is yet to come. Just remember, I am a text, FaceTime, or call, last resort, haha, away. I pray our relationship can grow stronger each day and we can move on to a better and brighter future. I have always and will always love you, Matthew. You are my son and you are going to do incredible things. Love, Mom. You've said nothing about me being gay. Don't come at me. I've snapped. Today of all days, I'm finally getting out because this election is stressing me out and I want to be a part of this world. I don't care about your effing world anymore. I don't want any part of it. Aunt Robin, Uncle Ed, Savannah, Ashley, if you're listening to this, stop. Don't text me. Don't call me. I don't want you. Aunt Tanya, Uncle Aaron, Gracie, Ashton, Roman. I don't want any of it. Oh, I forgot Canyon. I'm sorry. I don't want any of you. Don't talk to me. Uncle Tim can contact me. He's a black sheep and I feel bad for that man. Aunt Karen, I don't really particularly like to hear from her either. Mom, Dad, you're probably watching this. Actually, you know what? I just heard from you that you don't watch my videos, which is fine. I don't want to hear from you. I can deal with my life on my own. I can deal with my life on my own. And that's fine because I've already built so much from where I was 4 months ago. And I'm so happy for that. And I don't want to have to deal with anything anymore. I don't want your drama. I don't want your pettiness. I'm done being broken, abused emotionally. I'm done being tortured and broken and battered and Oh, I'm over it. So this is it. This is my goodbye. Oh, watch my videos. I don't care. I don't want to hear from you. I just don't. And I don't want to hear about your Bible verses that are trying to convert me. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it. I just don't. I'm gay and that's okay. And nobody understands that. To the rest of you watching who may have voted for Trump, also don't talk to me because you don't care about my rights. So I don't have anything else left to say. I'm over it. I snapped. You have 2 more episodes of this left that have everything to do with me and nothing about to do with my family except for the video about me coming out. This is my story. This is my life. Get with it.